Hey there folks, John here. I love summer, and not for the usual reasons, the warm weather, the time off, that sort of thing, but because it is yard sale season. And I went out yard sailing yesterday, had some really good luck, so I figured I'd make a video about it. So, here we go. Okay, so I'll start out with the little stuff. One of my favorite things about yard sales is you can go and you can get games, individual games, for like $2-3 a pop. And a lot of times there's stuff that people don't even really know what they have. They just, you know, have their son's collection or something like that he's gone off to college and they're just cleaning out or something like that, which makes me feel bad for the son, but I'm not going to not buy it because of that. But you know, they do a lot of just cleaning out, and people don't really know what they have. So I was able to get a couple of deals like that. So I'm going to go over those first. So first off, again, just a couple of the small ones. I was able to get, there we go, back towards the mic. I was able to get a couple of PSP games. I got Rainbow Islands because who doesn't like Rainbow Islands? I mean, it's a good game. Now this is the remake of it for PSP, so I'm assuming it's good. I haven't really played much of it, but there it is. Namco Museum Ultimate Collection. This is a really great collection of just a bunch of arcade games that they ported to the PSP, and it's got Galaga on there, Dig Dug, and it's got remakes of Pac-Man, Galaga, Rally X, which I don't really know that one, and Dig Dug, and then it's got a bunch of other ones that are actually like the original versions of it, like Xevious, Galaxy, and that sort of thing. So that's pretty cool. So I was excited about that one. Again, PSP games are really cheap right now, so if you want PSP games, man, this is the time to get them, because I think I got both of those for like $2 each. I went ahead and picked up Jak 3 for $2 because I've always meant to pick this one up. I've got the first two. I got the first Jak and Daxter on launch day because it was so hyped. But I picked this one up complete, got the case, or got the book and the disc and all that other stuff. So that was good. That was $2. Got the Sega GT 2002 and Jet Set Radio Future double pack, and I think I paid $4 for that one, which this was the last Xbox game that was really on my list to get now that the backwards compatibility is out, and I have pretty much all the other ones that I think are going to skyrocket in price, but Jet Set Radio is a really good game, so I think that one's probably going to go up, so I'm glad I got that. And then I guess I'll move on to, before I do that, I'll do the GameCube. I picked up a GameCube for $15. It came with, you can see in there's a disc, Tiger Woods, something, I don't know, I don't really like sports games. Tiger Woods 2003, so came with a game, it works, it's great. It was only $15, so I will either use it as my player and put my other one back in the box just so that it can stay all minty. Or I'll probably end up trying to sell it, clean it up, because it does need cleaned up. I found it at a flea market, and sell it for $30 since I got it for $15. I don't want to completely rip somebody off, but it's probably worth that. And then my other two individual yard sale finds, which were really good. I got the Grand Theft Auto collection for PS1 for $5, and this one has everything with it. Like, it's got all the little decals. It's pretty much in mint condition. These discs, so it's got a little poster there, but these discs are pretty much completely clean. It's like nobody ever even played them. They probably just got it because they like GTA, and they let it sit on the shelf until they sold it. So I got that for $5, and this is actually about, depending on the day you look on eBay, between a $30 and $40 collection. And to be perfectly honest, I don't really like GTA, but I would rather post it on a Facebook buy and sell group, see if I can get $20 out of it and somebody gets a deal on something that they want, then see it just sit at that yard sale and gather dust and possibly be donated to a Goodwill. So this one, I'll probably try to flip it cheap so that somebody can get it, maybe that wouldn't be able to get it otherwise. That's usually what I try to do with stuff. And then the last one, which I'm really excited about, and this is an example of some of the weirdest, most random games sometimes are expensive that you have no idea are actually even a thing. There's another example of that here in a minute. But this one is Looney Tunes Sheep Raider. This came from the same collection that that Jak 3 game came from, and I got it for $2. This is like a $35-$40 game. And it's just one of those cult classics that people like, and is actually pretty good. I did play a little bit of it, and I plan on finishing it because I buy to play. And it's just kind of that one of those weird. It's a platformer, 3D platformer on the PlayStation. Obviously, it's Looney Tunes based, and yeah, it's just one of those weird ones that just happens to be worth more money than it really probably should be. And the only reason I know that is because I troll Twitter a lot, and so. If you want to know what stuff is worth money, follow hashtag, Wednesday, WED, capital NES Day. Follow CIB Sunday, that sort of thing, and you'll learn about a lot of this stuff. So, anyways, Sheep Raider, was really excited about that one. Has the manual, has the disc, it's complete. So, that one was good. But now we're on to the Peace Day Resistance, which, is basically this gigantic box of NES stuff. So I went to a flea market the other day. I already said that. At the end of the yard sailing, this was like 11 o'clock in the morning. Usually by that time, all the deals are gone, right? Like most of the people that want the stuff get up early and they get it. But I got to this flea market, and I'm going down just like the second aisle. I'm not even that far into the flea market, and I see this box, and I go over to the table and I look in, and I can't believe what I'm seeing. Because inside of here, it's kind of a mess in here, so I will dig stuff out real quick. I find one NES and another NES. Two NESs. And I can't believe what I'm looking at. I'm like, okay, there's two NESs in here. Maybe there's something else good. So then I dig around a little bit more, and I find there's actually a bunch of games in here that are actually worth a fair bit of money. And a lot of them I already have, so I'll probably, again, try to flip them cheap on a buy-sell group so somebody can get something that they want without having to pay, like, retail store prices for it. But, just to give you the final number, I paid $200 for the entire box. Now, you can sell an NES on a buy and sell group by itself. No cords or anything, usually for around $50. Fortunately, the cords are with it. As are the controllers, as is a gun zapper. So I should be able to get a fair amount out of these. And actually I replaced the flap on mine because this is actually my old flap, and this flap was in better condition. So, that was a good thing for me too. But then I looked in, and there's just tons of games in here, and they're all good games. Like there's, a lot of times you look in and it's like, like Dragon Warrior and Super Mario Brothers Duck Hunt and like one other game, and you're like, okay, well this is kind of a bust. But no, there's some really good stuff in here. So first, let's get the boring stuff out of the way. There are. And some of these there's actually duplicates of. But there are 2 copies of Ninja Turtles. 2 copies of Hogan's Alley, right? That's Hogan's Alley. Which is a light gun game, so if you don't have a CRT, you can't really play it, but, there's that. 2 copies of Metroid, which, is a pretty good game, I think. People like, right? People like Metroid? People like Metroid. 2 copies of DuckTales. And 2 copies of Super Mario Brothers 3. Most of the other duplicates are in these plastic game protectors right here. And there's 5 of these. So yeah, so there's the DuckTales. That's Rad Racer. There's Mario 3. There's Hogan's Alley. I don't know why you would ever put Hogan's Alley in a protector. There's Ninja Turtles. And then whatever the other one I said is down here somewhere too. But that's not all. There was other stuff in here, which is great. And I will start out with the boring stuff and then get to the more exciting stuff. And there's a lot in this box, so I'm going to try to blow through this. First of all, since I had it in my hand, we've got Rad Racer 2, which is not, I mean, it's a good game. It's fine. I'm not a huge fan of racing games, but it's in really good shape. This is actually a Squaresoft game, and before they were Squaresoft, they were just Square. And yeah, it's Rad Racer 2. Not a super valuable game, but good to have in the collection. Didn't have it before. All this stuff, the reason why I paid for it as well is everything in here is in like pristine condition. So this, what the guy probably got it from a storage unit, that somebody had abandoned that was from a collector of some kind. Because there was this gigantic bin of Sega Genesis games next to it with like a lot of really good ones in it, like Golden Axe 2 and like a bunch of like valuable ones. But he wanted to sell the whole thing as a box, and that's actually why I didn't just buy stuff out of this box individually, because he wanted to sell the whole thing as a box. And he wanted $300 for it. I talked him down to $200. The Genesis one, he wanted as a box too, and I had to choose. I didn't have enough money for both, so that's basically it. But anyway, yeah. So Rad Racer, and then let's just go through the we'll save that one. But we've got Excite Bike, which is cool. It's a great game. Love Excite Bike. Everybody loves Excite Bike, I think. Heavy Shreddin', which, again, not the most amazing game ever, but I didn't have it in the collection, and now I do, so that's great. Dick Tracy. Now, I remember renting this one several times as a kid. Not loving it, because I couldn't really figure out what to do, so I'm excited to see if I can, if older me can figure out what to do in this game. Now, it's supposedly like a detective mystery, kind of like it mixes like pseudo like point and click stuff with some like overhead like top down stuff, kind of like GTA, driving and stuff. So this will be interesting. Kind of excited about that one. Super Pitfall. Didn't have it before. It's Pitfall. I mean, that's all there is to it. It's Pitfall. So there you go. Super Pitfall. Now I have it. Yay! And every single one of these pretty much came with a dust protector too, which is how you know that whoever owned this really took good care of their stuff. Yeah, Mission Impossible. Again, nothing to write home about. It's Mission Impossible. Cheap game. You have to forgive me sniffing. My allergies are bad. Oh, there's the other copy of Metroid. I told you guys I'd find it. Also got a Legend of Zelda. Now, it works, but this thing, and it's probably kind of hard to see on camera, is beat the crap out of. Like, it's really in bad shape. The label's great, but this probably rode around in a backpack or something, because it's got these black scuff marks all over it, and these gold Zelda carts are actually black underneath this the gold finish, and when they scratch, they don't scratch silver, they scratch black. So it's pretty scratched up. The label's in good shape, though. I mean, I've got a better version of this one, so this is probably one that I'll probably sell to somebody for like $5 just so that they can have it in their collection. You've got, let's see, get all the other boring ones out of the way. I'm just going to stack them up all in my hands right here. Okay. So you've got Marble Madness. This one's a label upgrade for me. Totally keeping this one. And I'll probably just package the other one with maybe one of the NESs that I sell or something like that. But this one's a label upgrade. It's great. I love Marble Madness. Great game. Also a rare game. Monopoly. Now I've got a loose copy of Monopoly. I've actually got a CIB Monopoly back here somewhere. I don't feel like looking for it right now. But I've got a CIB Monopoly, so this one, again, will probably be a pack-in. It's fine. Here's one that I've never had before. Well, actually, Super Mario Duck Hunt. There you go. I don't have to say anything about that. Here's one that I've never had before. I always saw this one listed in Game Genie books growing up, and I always wondered, you know what, that sounds like it'd be pretty cool, but my local rental store didn't have it, so I never had it. James Bond Jr. It's an NES platformer. I'm kind of looking forward to this one because it was kind of a crazy show in the early 90s, and maybe it's a good game, maybe it's not. I really don't know much about it, but interesting one that I didn't have in the collection before, so that was great. And this one is Little League Baseball. Now, I don't really collect sports games most of the time, unless I just happen to get them in a box like this, but this is actually, for a sports game, it's not bad. It's an $8 to $10 game, and a lot of sports games are, you know, if you're a collector, you know this, but $2 to $3. So, I guess this one's actually somewhat uncommon, which is cool. And then everybody loves this one from, if you grew up in the 80s or early 90s, you played Super Off-Road in the arcade. And this is a Trade West game. It was one of Rare's early games on the NES. And it's a great game. It's a super a lot of fun. It's dang hard. Ivan Iron Man Stewart's Super Off-Road. So, yeah, happy to have this one in the collection. I've eyed this one several times in retro stores, but never picked it up. Okay, and now we're going to get to the interesting stuff. So let's start with... let's start with this one, which is not interesting on its own, but with the extra stuff it is. If I can find it. There it is. Okay. So, this person had a copy of Dragon Warrior, which is cool. Dragon Warrior is a great game. It's also a very cheap game. It's very common. You can find it for $5 easy if you look in the right place. But here's the part that you can't usually find. We have the map for Dragon Warrior. Ta-da, I'll put it in front of my face. Okay, with the bestiary on the back. Okay, let me fold down the map so it doesn't get messed up. And then we have the instruction manual. Always good to have with a game. Not super exciting. We have a letter packaged with the game to tell you, hey, Dragon Warrior 2 is a thing. Go buy Dragon Warrior 2. More on that in a minute. You have a Dragon Warrior poster with maps of dungeons on the back. And there's the poster. And you have the Dragon Warrior Explorer's Handbook, which is kind of like an extra extended manual, but it's got woo! We lost a page. But it's like a little mini player's guide basically, and it's got tons of cool artwork and stuff in it too. I can actually get the pages to turn. That sort of thing. So super cool that all this was with the game, because usually when you see Dragon Warrior, it's literally just the cartridge and that's it. So that was a really, really cool find. And since I'm on the subject of Dragon Warrior, let's look. Oh, and also the Dragon Warrior Adventurer's Guide, which is a little cardboard thing that tells you what happens to every character as they gain levels. Again, pretty hard to find. Now, since we're on the topic of Dragon Warrior, let me grab this. It's in rough shape, but, well, the box is in rough shape, but the guy also had Dragon Warrior 2, which is great. It's less common than the original Dragon Warrior, much less common actually. But the best part about that is he also had the box. Now the box is in a little rough shape. I can't do a retro restoration on this because there's nothing to save. But still, it has the box and it has the manual, which is more than I expected. And it also has the map that came with it. So that's another map. I won't unfold that one. So that was pretty cool. Dragon Warrior 2, 1 and 2. Now, Dragon Warrior I already have. Again, probably try to just flip that one real quick on the cheap to somebody. Alright, so now we're getting into the really good stuff. First, we'll go ahead and do this. This is the original Castlevania. Actually a pretty common game, but for some reason that actually goes for a pretty high dollar value. So, that one's kind of cool. And I think this actually might be a label upgrade for me, so I'll probably sell my other one and keep that one. Now, when I looked in the box, you know that there's quality. Well, wait a minute. Let's do this one first. Yo-Noid. Anybody played Yo-Noid? I didn't play Yo-Noid. Capcom platformer, though, so it can't be bad, right? Based on the Domino's mascot. And I always saw this in the rental store, but for some reason I never did not buy it, but rent it as a kid, so I'm excited to try that one out. I hear it's not as good as, like, Chip and Dale and that sort of thing, but you know you've got a quality box when you look in and you see a Mega Man game. Okay? Now, this is Mega Man 3. Of all the Mega Man NES games, this is actually one of the cheapest. You can get it for about $15 on a good day. So, this also happens to be my absolute favorite Mega Man. So, honestly, even though I've already got it, I will probably keep this one as a backup, just in case anything ever happens to mine, because I play it so much, there's no way it's going to last forever. So, this is a good replacement, or not a replacement, this is a good backup copy for me. But, you also had the original Mega Man. Now, this one is worth a lot more money because it's a lot more rare. They didn't make as many of them because this was the first one. Mega Man wasn't popular yet. And this one is in pristine condition. I went ahead and opened it up just to make sure that the chip was legit and make sure that the pins were good. And it is just absolutely, like, perfect. So this one is about a $40 game, $40 to $50 depending on where you go. So I was really, really happy with that purchase. And again, it's in great shape. You also have Contra in immaculate condition. Now, I have Super C back here. I got that a few weeks ago. Well, a few months ago now. But this one is, it looks like it came straight out of the box, and it's Contra. This is about a $35 game, which is nice. And then we got a... Oh, I forgot to mention it. Mega Man 3 came with a box. It's a little smushed, but you know what? A box protector will fill it out. So that's pretty cool. I didn't have the Mega Man 3 box before. We also have the NES cleaning kit. You don't see these intact very often. This has everything that went with it. So you can clean the inside of your NES, and you can clean your cartridges with it. This was the original version of the 1-Up card that John Riggs uses if you follow Riggs Gaming. And you should if you don't. So go check his YouTube channel out. But this is the original version of it. So that's pretty cool. And then we've got Star Tropics. This one's complete in box. Now, I already have a complete in box Star Tropics, but the thing to note about this one, which is pretty cool, most of the time you get a Star Tropics game, and it's got the instruction manual. Ta-da! But there was a letter that you needed in order to actually finish the game. And this one's actually got the letter. Now, the problem with this letter, you can do this without anything falling out of my lap, is that for some reason it got cut in half. And now sometimes I've seen a lot of these actually where these letters are in half like this, so I think that's probably just that they were perforated for too long and they fell apart. But there it is. But hey, it's Star Tropics with the letter, which is pretty cool because I lost my letter a long time ago, so I will keep the letter and sell the game. But pretty sweet. And then we have, and I'm really excited about this one, a complete in box Kirby's Adventure, which is awesome. It's got all the stuff in it, and like this is a true complete because it's got the manual and it's got all of the Nintendo extra stuff that you expect in a game, which is pretty awesome. Huh, and my son has decided to come pay us a visit. Daddy's recording a video. Huh? Do you want to look?
Yeah.
Here, do you want to come up and be on camera? Alright. So, this is my little boy. His name is Caleb. Say hi.
Hi.
And he has his sister's stuffed dog and his Mimi, which wasn't supposed to come out of his room. But this is Caleb, and he plays games with me sometimes, right?
Yeah.
What did you play? Mario. Mario is his favorite game. So, okay, well, can you go upstairs again, and I'll be right up? Yeah, go upstairs to Mommy, and I'll be right there. Okay. Alright, and since somebody is waiting on me, let's finish up these last couple things real quick. I think I've gone over just about everything except for the really interesting one. I had never heard of this game before. I actually stuck it in the NES afterwards, played it. It was actually really fun. But this is a Jalico platformer called Wampum. It's very politically incorrect, culturally insensitive, whatever you want to talk about. But this is a $50 game. I had never heard of it before. When I looked in the box, I just glossed over this one just because I figured it was a random, weird game that, you know, nobody cared about. But this is actually a really good little platformer. Really graphically cool. And it was part of this box. I literally thought this was like a $1, $2 game when I saw it. Like, I just didn't even think about it. And that just goes to show you never know what's actually going to be valuable and what's going to be worth stuff. So that's about all I got. And that said, that's my pickup video, and that's all the stuff that I picked up at yard sales. So I had a lot of really good luck. Again, I paid a decent amount for this box, but I'm gonna have no trouble getting my money back and keeping the stuff that I actually want out of it. So that's really great, and I was really happy. So sometimes you luck out going to yard sales, going to flea markets, that sort of thing. So that'll do it for me. If you have any thoughts, feel free to leave them in the comments. You know, like, subscribe, all that stuff. Subscribing is awesome. Really trying to build up the subscriber base on the channel. So, you know, if you like the video, go ahead. And if you want to know what else, or if you want to have any input into the other types of things, I can't talk right now, that I do on the channel, go ahead, leave a note in the comments. I know I haven't done a ton of videos lately, hopefully we'll be remedying that shortly. It's just been crazy at work. So, hopefully that'll happen soon. And until then, what? Oh, there's a hole in the doggy? I'm sorry. All right, guys. Until then, I will see you guys next time, and you have a great day.